I'm going to show you all the process for stripping a cup and doing a full-blown makeover, so sit back and enjoy. So I'm going to be stripping the cup using acetone, and you simply just wrap it up in paper towel and aluminum foil and let it rest overnight, and the epoxy begins to peel off. I'm using a razor blade just to help me with the peeling process because this epoxy has been on here for about 2 years, so it is really on there good. I went ahead and wrapped the cup back up again in acetone because it needed some more time to soak in to get that epoxy that's been on there for so long off. So I'm just going to go in once more and razor off the rest of this epoxy. just a little trick that I probably should have used from the very beginning, but I completely forgot, is using a heat gun. The heat gun warms up the epoxy and makes it extremely soft, so obviously now it is so easy to razor off. So use the heat gun from the beginning and this will take a lot less time. So now I'm just going to sand down the cup, wipe it off with some acetone to get that last little bit of resin off, and prepare the cup for spray painting. Alright, now it is glitter time. So we are going to apply a very thin coat of epoxy to the cup at this point. You do not want a thick layer, because if you do, the extra fine glitter that you're going to be using, if you are using extra fine glitter, it will soak right up into the epoxy, and that is not what you want. So just make sure you use a very thin coat of epoxy for this particular layer. Okay, so now that I've gotten the thin layer of epoxy coat on, I'm going to go in with my first color. I usually hit the edges first and then spin it all the way around until I am happy with the coverage. And I will bring the glitter up high and sprinkle to meet where the other color is. And then after I apply the other color, I'll start doing more of the blending process. Alright, now we're going to start with the second color. You're going to hit the bottom portion of the cup first, and then you will sprinkle around the cup until the coverage is what you like, and bring the glitter up high and sprinkle lightly towards the middle. So you're just going to continue to sprinkle the colors together until it gets a really, really good blend. The higher you hold your glitter, the better ombre you will get. Now it's time for the first layer of epoxy. I mixed about 20 milliliters of resin together And I'm just going to spread that around the cup until the entire cup is coated with the resin. Sometimes it takes the full 20 and sometimes not all of it, but you don't want it to be super heavy because we're going to be going in with another coat in a few hours after this one. Going to be using a torch to pop all the micro bubbles. Don't use a heat gun because that will give the resin too much movement, and the torch is better at popping all of the bubbles from the cups. Also, make sure you are moving pretty quickly with your torch. You do not want to sit in one area for a long period of time because that will burn your resin. Usually the bubbles will rise up during the curing process and pop anyway. After you have applied your second coat of epoxy, go ahead and begin the sanding process to make it completely smooth. Just make sure that you're only sanding on the second coat, because if you sand on the first coat, what will happen is the glitter will turn a very dull silver color, and that's ugly and cannot be reversed. Now that you've placed your decal, go ahead and add what will hopefully be your last layer of resin, and then once this dries, you'll be able to take a razor blade and clean up the rim of your cup. And here is the final result. I hope you all have enjoyed this cup revamp, and of course, if you have any questions or comments, drop those below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.